Good day, everyone. My name is Raya, and these are the themes and symbols of Harry Potter. Good versus evil. Throughout his life, the plucky and adventurous young wizard Harry Potter has been pitted against Lord Voldemort, a rogue wizard determined to kill him in Harry Potter and a Half-Blood Prince. Their combat intensifies as Voldemort returns to the wizarding world and begins to gather his army. Until now, the Harry Potter series has portrayed as a fairly straightforward conflict between good and bad people. The good people represented by Harry and the bad ones represented by Voldemort, with few characters populating the middle of the spectrum. However, the six books introduce more characters who are torn between their good and bad impulse. Because of this, Harry has figured out not only how to defeat his enemies, but how to behave towards people of ambitious moral standing. While Harry has trouble accepting that the world around him can occupy middle ground between good and evil, by the end of the novel, he's beginning to acknowledge the possibility of more redemption for the first time. Love and friendship. As in the previous Harry Potter novels, Harry's friendship with Ron and Hermione is central of his life and his effort to defeat Voldemort. However, in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, these relationship dynamics are upended by new romantic feelings that confuse their cause. While Harry and Ron develop crushes on Jenny and Hermione, they both have trouble accepting these feelings, seeing them as destructive of their existing friendships. However, uncertainty about the romantic feelings cause them to behave in sexist way to the women in their lives, threatening their previous relationships. Ultimately, their fumbling approaches to romance reveal that despite growing in teenagers, Harry and Ron are still emotionally childish at this point, especially compared to Hermione and Jenny. However, their behavior now also foregrounds the way in which they may mature in the seventh and final installment. Coming of age. In Harry Potter and Half-Blood Prince, a very teenage wizard fights against his increasingly powerful enemy, Lord Voldemort, which Harry and his best friend Ron and Hermione have faced challenges for Voldemort since their childhood. They've actually been supported and protected by power adult figures. However, in this installment of the series, many of these adults die to prove unable to fight Voldemort, forcing the trio to take riskier and more independent role in the struggle. For Harry and his friends, growing up is like linked to the loss of loved ones and increasing awareness of their own vulnerable position. With the novel uploads the tourist development into brave, competent young adults. It presents coming of age not as gradual and positive process, but an abrupt and often painful recoiling with one's own morality. Family. While Harry has been orphaned since infancy, family is happy and unhappy about in sixth installment of his narrative. Besides, portraying the Wellesley's and the Dursleys, families have been important parts of his life since the first book. The novel provides a new insight into other previously inscrutchable families, including the Malfoys and even Lord Voldemort's own parents. In the book, a family's values both reflect and influence its members' characters. Generally, families concerned with money or power produce troubled of malignant offspring, while loving the supportive families raise behave and well-adjusted children. Notably, while Harry grows up among the first kind of family, the Durleys, he makes his home in second, the Wellesley's. Harry's disdain of first stage and conscious embrace of Wellesley positive values displays innate goodness. At the same time, it becomes clear that the Wellesley's care and support its list partially responsible for the stalwart character he develops and brave deeds he's able to achieve. Politics and paranoia. While the first three Harry Potter novels focus on going and written Hogwarts, since Voldemort's return in Goblet of Fire, there has been increasing emphasis on politics of the wider wizarding world. This emphasis becomes even more prominent in Half-Blood Prince as the Ministry of Magic finally acknowledges Voldemort's increasing strength and attempts to fight back. However, the Ministry response provokes weak and inefficient, influenced by paranoia and pretty personal conflicts, and thus unable to contain Voldemort and his Death Eaters. In evoking a world visit, a rogue extremist and crippled by extremely flawed governance. Rowling seems to refer the state of global politics in wake the period in which she wrote the novel. In this sense, Half-Blood Prince reflects the anxiety of a society trying to respond to new and unpredictable threats, while protesting against the governance more concerned with their own power than the peace safely of their own Deathly Hallows. The Deathly Hallows symbol is based on the magical items each of the three brothers use to escape death: the invisibility clock, the Elder Wand, and the Philosopher's Stone. In the symbol, the triangle represents the clock, the circle is the stone, and the line down the center is the wand. The Philosopher's Stone. If you read the Harry Potter series, you remember the Philosopher's Stone from the very first book. It was called the Sorcerer's Stone in America. The stone, which is represented in Deathly Hallows symbol by the circle, looks like a regular semi-polished gemstone. Invisibility Clock. What better way to hide the death of Filch than with Invisibility Clock? Harry was gifted the clock in the first year as it once belonged to his father. Elder Wand. The Elder Wand was also part of the Deathly Hallows. It was most notably used by Dumbledore and is represented by the line down the center of the Deathly Hallows symbol. Harry destroyed it at the very end of the series. Harry's lightning bolt. Ever wonder why the lightning bolt is about? Harry has a lightning bolt scar above his eyes, which he earned in the night Voldemort killed his parents. Harry was spared because his mother's love was fantastically powerful, hence leaving behind a distinctive mark. The scar, though, left him linked to the Dark Lord and would ultimately serve as a warning whenever Voldemort was near. Dark Mark Death Eaters. Before Harry was born, James and Lily Potter and their friends were once fighting Voldemort. Voldemort had this own post-true called the Death Eaters. The self-identify by being marked the Dark Mark, tattooed in inside of their forearm. That mark kept them linked to Voldemort as a gang symbol. Gryffindor. Each of Hogwarts' four houses was its own name and symbol. Each comes with own characteristic are said to describe the members of the house. Gryffindors are represented by a lion and the colors red and gold. Their traits are daring, nerve, and chivalry. Hufflepuff. Hufflepuffs are represented by the colors black and yellow, and their emblem holds the semblance of badger. While many people scoff the throughout of being sorted into Hufflepuff, it's worth noting that it's the most exclusive house. Hufflepuffs believe in fairness and loyalty and have a strict moral code. Slytherin. Harry Potter also ended in Slytherin due to his inescapable link of Voldemort. While many of the Wizarding world's most morally corrupt characters were Slytherin, including you know who, plus Draco and his family. It's worth noting that so much Severus Snape and he turned out to be fairly a decent guy. Slytherin's color are green and gray silver, and they were presented by a Slytherin's name. They're noted as being cunning, screed, and ambitious. Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw's color are blue and bronze, and they're represented by the eagle. They are known for being the smartest of the bunch. The Carrie's descriptors are wit, wisdom, and knowledge, which you know all basically translate to smarty pants. Wands. Each wand is different and very part of the wand represents a personality trait or moral characteristic of the wand's witch or wizard. From how long and bendy, a wand is to its core and kind of wood it's made from. Each wand is unique and represents in wizards perfectly. And don't forget the wand chooses the wizard. Broomsticks. The Harry Potter series has everything, including sports. An overlooked symbol are the broomsticks players rode during Quidditch games. Not only it's a representation of how witches and wizards travel, but it's also called back to the old world of fantasy. The broomstick are slightly salute to the magic we read about as kids. Harry Potter is modern and original. Quidditch is a reminder that classic storybook Quimsy is part of the series too. Platform 934. The entire Wizarding World, Harry Potter and gang waited on the platform 934. It's where people boarded the Hogwarts Express and transported to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizards. Some people also get it as a tattoo as a token of acknowledgement of the magical world.